Hey, welcome back to another episode of Success Leaves Clues. I'm here with my guys, Drew the Barber, Tylor Marzullo, owners of one of the hottest barbershops in Indianapolis, XG Groom Room. Welcome on, fellas. How y'all doing?
Good. How you doing?
Good. Pretty good.
Sweet. So XG Groom Room, tell us about it. Like, where you guys located at? What exactly do you do?
We're located downtown Indianapolis, right in the heart of downtown, right off the highway. Real easy access. We offer high-end men's service. It's like a men's spa, pretty much. Full-service salon, hair, skin, and nails. Pretty much any product that you can put in your beard or in your hair, we offer. All of our haircuts are A1, man. We've got a good team of people in there that put out excellent work. So
that's awesome.
Yeah.
Tyler, talk to us about the design. I know both of you guys kind of worked hand in hand on the design of the spot. It's probably one of the best looking barbershops, right? We talked about like the typical barbershop when you going in there. Obviously, probably hair in some places, cords everywhere, probably lights out, chairs don't match. Like, what was your thoughts behind designing XG?
Yeah, well, that's definitely what sets us apart from all the other shops. And everything in the shop was designed by me and him. Mm-hmm. Not only designed, but we also got our hands dirty, did a lot of the work ourselves. But yeah, I mean, we went from a old print shop that was a complete mess to the highest, the top-notch barber shop in the city. From the floors, every light fixture, redid the bathrooms completely, shampoo bar, full lounge. I mean, we did it all the way.
Nah, that's great. And right there is Ohio Street?
yeah.
Ohio Street, so right there off the exit. So crazy, obviously, now we're in 2021, but 2020 was a crazy year, right? Open up a business in the middle of a pandemic.
COVID, baby.
Oh, man. So it's crazy. So, I mean, how do you survive, right? Because there's probably a lot of young business owners that just open up their business. Like, what did you do to get you to where you are now, where you're in a position now to thrive and grow in 2021?
Well, the funny thing about the barbering industry, man, is like people, they want to get their haircuts. Like,
right.
And then when you're servicing a high-end clientele, but business owners or people that make their own hours or people that, were affected by the pandemic but not necessarily, couldn't afford to get a haircut. They were still coming through to get cut. Now, some of my clients that, lost their job or were laid off, we did slow up a little bit like right there, but I lost clients anyway just from moving locations and moving downtown. So that was just, I just charged that to the game.
Right.
But my clients, my high-end clients, that they are buying into the brand and they saw what I was doing, so they wanted to support me and they wanted to stay looking fresh during the pandemic.
No doubt.
The first way to look to see if somebody's doing bad or they're off is their haircut.
You got to make sure their hair is fresh.
Got to. I mean, people had their lights to be turned off at the crib and they still get haircuts.
No doubt. So downtown, right? Obviously, being up here, right? 20 minutes away in the suburbs, I still go downtown, obviously get a haircut. Obviously still try to go out there and support the downtown local restaurants. But this misconception of downtown, right? In terms of safety, what would you say in terms of because both of you guys live downtown and downtown every night, right? So what would you say about the safety of people wanting to go downtown? How would you encourage them to come downtown?
I mean, downtown, I think people get scared with the safety thing because as far as homeless people being downtown, but I've never had a homeless person, come up and do anything crazy or, in any big city, you go to Manhattan, you go to
right.
LA, you go to Miami, you're going to have homeless people. It just comes with big city. It comes with money. They follow the money, so I definitely feel like downtown is very safe, especially compared to a lot of other areas in, Indianapolis. One of the safer areas, if you ask me. But yeah, I mean, we're situated right in the heart of downtown. I feel like it's a very safe area. It's almost ducked off a little bit too, quieter than a lot of the other spaces. Yeah.
So one of the things that kind of sets you guys apart, right, is your premium services, but with premium services also comes premium prices, right? And I think a lot of people, right, when they look at or just online and don't experience your shop, the design, the meticulous lights that went in and the color combinations and the chairs, I mean, it's a huge investment. So in terms of being a premium shop, how do you justify, if you will, what you will charge for a haircut?
Really, what justifies the haircut price is the surrounding competition as well. This what you do is you just take a little survey of the people that live within a 2-mile radius of your company. I mean, you got condos across the street that start at $500,000. You know what I mean? Anybody living downtown, they're paying a premium price. A lot of young entrepreneurs, young single businessmen that can afford that extra, $20 on their cut, and they want to have a good experience. So we provide amenities, free alcoholic beverages for our clients, and they know that we have a high-end clientele. So, they can potentially get some free legal advice or run into somebody that they can leverage my network, just like I do.
Right. So. And then also talk about like the barbers, right? I mean, I mean, the barbers that are in your shop. I mean, we ain't talking about regular barbers, right? It ain't the dude that your typical barber shop, the guy in the back that's sitting in the back was always open, right? I mean, these people who kind of perfected their craft, right? These people who are like studying and really like a master barbers.
Definitely perfected their craft, and I feel like all of the barbers that we have they have all of the traditional skills. They'll lean back, hit you with the razor. They'll do a 14-stroke straight razor shave, hit you with a hot towel. But they also have a modern flair, and they have their own style, and they have their own signature style. So, you get out the chair. I mean, anybody walking in, I can be like, oh, okay, that's Casey's client right there, or that's Danny's client, or that's B's client, just because of the way they wear their hair and how perfect the cut is, and around the city. As soon as they walk out, people gonna know like they went to XG.
Yeah, no doubt.
At the same time, all our barbers are very well rounded as well too. Like you said, they have their own kind of style, but we could also say, anybody who comes in, I feel comfortable with you sitting in any of these chairs in here and getting the perfect haircut.
So you buy anybody, right? So like colors, right? Because different cultures have different hairs, right? So black, Indian, whatever, right? So like the people in your shop, they could cut like no matter the color, the texture of the hair,
right?
They could get down pretty much on anybody, right?
Yeah, and when you think about most, typical barbershops, or like if you even think about Great Clips, they're mostly straight hair. You really shouldn't go in there if you got coarse hair. You're probably not going to get a very good haircut. Or you think about some of the barbershops on 38th Street and stuff, you probably shouldn't. Most barbers tend to specialize in a certain type of hair. So it is good for us to have a whole team of barbers that don't just specialize in one type of hair, and they can, excel in every type of haircut.
Right, sweet. So enough of the cuts, right? Definitely check out XG Groom Room. The boys are sweet. The address is
417 East Ohio Street.
East Ohio Street. So now we're gonna get into some good stuff, right? So we're in a barbershop. So what is the most debated conversation in the barbershop?
The most debated conversation?
The number one conversation is definitely women.
Oh, yeah.
Women?
I was going to say that, yeah.
So what's the debatable women conversation? Marriage or no marriage?
Marriage or no marriage, or just making them your girl too soon.
Right.
I always get, they always talk about me like I'm making my girl too soon, but I'm a relationship guy. My parents been married for 42 years, man.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So it kind of rubs off on me. Nah, I'm not trying to get married, but
Right.
I just always lean towards that, having.
So on the TikTok drink, right, they got the married, no marriage. So which side you going to the left or to the right?
I'm going to the marriage side. You know what I mean? That's always the goal, but I been doing my research. They say married guys have a longer life expectancy than single guys. So I'm trying to be here for a while.
A lot of sleeping Tyler.
Yeah, I'm going to the no marriage side. But I mean, yeah, like you said, marriage, like you said, I feel like it does take some stress off you. You know what I mean? Because like at the end of the day, you want a partner to help you out and take relieve some of your stress and just But now I'm going no marriage side, man. There's too many options out here right now.
All right, cool. Next question. So like barber, you gotta earn your stripes, right?
Right.
So like, what was the most uncomfortable conversations you had to have like after you chip somebody up? Like, you know what I'm saying? You probably went a little bit deep on this. On the forehead, like what is the most like one of those conversations?
Only did
like,
that one time.
Right, what happened?
And it wasn't even in the beginning of my career. It was when I started smelling myself and I got comfortable.
Right.
Guard fell off. Dude came in, had 360 deep waves. Ooh. I think he was like Cuban and like black. He had that super deep waves, you know what I mean? and I'm just cutting, you know, talking to I'm talking to my client that's waiting. I ain't even talking to the dude in the chair. That's when you get too comfortable. And the guard fell off, and it fell off on the top, right in the crown. I had to give him like one of them Southside Boosie fades, man. But before I decided to give him the highball fade, I'm going through with the fibers. I'm going through with everything, man. Like, I hit it with the fibers and I blew on it, and then it just all went away. Like, I was just like, damn, man, I might have to. I mean, I went down to the skin, too.
Wow.
And he was light skinned. He was like super bright. So, black hair, light skin, patch.
Did he come back?
He never came back. Never came back. You know what? I think he came back one time for a lineup. And I asked him,
Like, don't touch the top.
Yeah,
like it was crazy because I asked him, like, I'm like, yo, you know, would your wife think of the ball fade? And she just kept asking me why I went so low, and I never told her why, but she just told me never to go that low again, and I was like, oh, okay, yeah. I mean, I saved him. The ball fade was no. He didn't ask for a ball fade, though.
Right. He wanted the way he's still spinning. So Tylor, obviously, about to come out, you know what I'm saying, get started, but obviously had a little bit of practice growing up. So what is like, what's your one example of sometimes you kind of chip somebody, you know what I'm saying?
Man, so there was one time, this kind of happened recently too. So I had a guy come in. I've been cutting his hair. He always had his hair long. I probably cut his hair for about 4 or 5 months. He always wore his hair longer. Well, he wanted to go down to wavelength. So I knocked the bulk down, knocked all the bulk down, and then I went to hit him wavelength, and I go down, but he had a big cowlick right here that you could never see because he always wore his hair up. So it just knocked this front part like way shorter than the rest of the hair. So then now he just had because he had like cowlick like this, like the whole middle of his head was like a cowlick going the other way.
Wow.
So then I just had to take it all a little bit lower. It turned out good, but I've always been real careful, man, with when I started cutting, like people always told me, when you start cutting, you're gonna mess people up. Like you're gonna mess people up, just do it, you're gonna learn. But I've always been like scared to mess people up. So when I cut, I always like take my time, take less hair off than I should until I got more comfortable cutting. So
Nah, that's probably good practice, right? Like it's always like you can always like take more off.
Right, yeah, exactly.
You know what I'm saying?
Right. I still do that today. Like if somebody be like, yeah, first time cut them, give me a 2, I'm like, I'm grabbing a 3. You know what I'm saying? Double showing the mirror, like, and 9 times out of 10 they gonna be like, oh yeah,
because they don't know what they're talking about. A lot of times, like people will come and ask for a taper, but really they want a fade. But it's like a taper really is just the side. You know what I mean? They'll say I want a taper, then you taper, and like no, I wanted a fade. Like that's why you gotta really be clear and like okay.
The best thing to do is have a picture because barber lingo is not like an international you know what I mean? Like
so what's the most like obviously. I've been rocking with Drew now for a couple years now, 2-3 years, and just the request of like of some of the people coming into the shop, right? And it just like, hey, I just want to shape up, but touch the size, you know what I'm saying, the top. So what's the most ridiculous? Like, what should you do if you're watching the show, you're going to the barber? Like, what's some barber etiquette that you want to tell some people about?
Barber etiquette?
A lineup is not when you get a lineup and a taper and the razor. That's not a lineup.
That's a cut.
People come and ask for a lineup thinking I'm gonna get half the price. That's not a lineup, bro. A lineup is I'm just putting a line and we done. If you want a hair, if you want the taper and all, that's a haircut. Yeah.
Right.
I mean, for me, I don't play those games because at the end of the day, you walk out and you tell somebody like, yeah, I went to XG, and you came in, you need a haircut.
Right.
You need a haircut. And you trying to get away with a line, and my thing is like, if you just want a line, you tell me you just want a line, I'm not turning my faders on at all. Those are not even getting touched. I'm going to put these over here on the charger.
Right.
I'm going to line you, I'm going to hit you with the razor, and that's it. But I know that you need the size taper, and if you usually get your neck faded out at the back, you don't want that lined up. You want to fade it out.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So don't even play those games.
Yeah.
Like,
Nah, that's funny. In terms of like relationship with barbers, I think as a male, right, one part of your best relationship is probably with your barber, right?
Right.
You probably seen them weekly. You probably seen none of your homeboys weekly, right? So what type of advice would you share, with the men watching, or even the women bringing their sons to the barbershop? Like, what type of relationship should you have with your barber, right? Because I think so many people wonder why people get to jump the chair,
Right.
people get to like get you up early, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
So what's that relationship like versus the ones that they have that, you know what I'm saying, where are they failing at? So what's the best way to get a good relationship with your barber?
Best way to get a really good relationship with your barber is being punctual.
Right.
For the most part, because everything is on a time basis.
Mm-hmm.
But outside of punctuality, you treat your barber the same way you treat your bartender. You know what I'm saying? Like, if you go into a bar all the time and you never tip, and it's always busy, I mean, you probably your drink's gonna be coming slow, or they're not really gonna pay you too much attention.
Right.
And then especially on them real busy nights, you probably not even gonna. It's a wrap for you. Like, don't even think. You know. So that's my advice, because you know it's too many times where people forget to book their cut, or they forget that. And I don't know how people forget it's their birthday, but they do, and they come in and be like, "Oh, bro, it's my birthday." You know what I mean?
Right.
And I'm like, all right, I always think like somebody that treats me the way I want to be treated, they stay right here. The people that don't, they be in the back. I don't forget, because I got a good memory. I'm not gonna forget about you.
Right.
But you definitely, I'm gonna be like, oh yeah, dang, I don't really,
So let's talk about this, because like tipping, right? So there's like, you never learned about tipping, like not in school. Like some people, parents don't tip, right? So
Right.
they really, so like how do you tip in a barbershop? Because so many people, right, they don't know tipping etiquette. Like it's funny, I stayed in a hotel recently, and I was like, I left like some money on the nightstand. They're like, yo, you left your money? I'm like, oh, that's for the, like we stay here a couple nights. That's for the person coming to clean the room. Like, you do that?
Yeah.
It's like, yeah, it's just like in the hospitality industry, you understand the importance of that. But like, you get a barbershop, you get a cut. Like, what's a appropriate tip amount?
I mean, I think a tip just basically shows like the appreciation for the haircut. You know what I mean? So the more you tip, it just kind of shows me like how much you really appreciate the cut.
Well, how much do I tip?
I mean, I look at it how I noticed too, as I raise my price in haircut, I noticed my tips get bigger. So I mean, I think it's looked at kind of like how a restaurant is, like a percentage. Like if it's $100 haircut, $120 tip, minimum. You know what I mean? Around there, but you know,
20% is 20% a good tip?
20% is good.
It's okay.
But it's all situational.
Right.
Because when you become a master barber, now you have those clients that feel like they VIP, they want to get at you, they know your schedule is busy, but they still want to get to you. So now what I've done, instead of working around the clock, I work from 7 to 3. Now anything after 3 o'clock is double, triple. You know what I mean? And they understand that. They come and they pay with no problem. Some people pay me $200, but they don't look at it as they're tipping me. They look at it as I'm taking care of them outside of my normal business hours. You know what I mean?
Yeah. No, I get it, because sometimes, you know what I'm saying, I got the little man, he need a cut. I'm like, yo, pull up, I got my little man.
Yeah.
So I was like, understood, like, yo, nah, no change.
But to make everything simple, we just take them to the kiosk, they swipe, and they give you tipping options on there. And that's good for somebody that needs everything spelled out to them. And as a barber, you should be able to read a person as soon as they walk in the door. You can probably look at them and be like, yeah, he's probably not gonna tip, or yeah, he's probably this, or he's probably that. Just depending, especially if even if you get him in a chair, you get to talking to him a little bit.
You got your no tippers and your good tippers. There really is no in between. Like you really don't get somebody who tips you $3 or $4. It's like
so how about if like someone like in lieu of tipping every time, like there's big like end of year Christmas, there's like, you know what I'm saying, all right, you got me and here goes like absorbing an amount, right?
Yeah.
So would you rather as a barber like get tipped like every time, or if someone like took care of you like on some big occasions?
Big occasions are cool, but you know what else is a good tip?
What's that?
Come every week on time.
Right.
If you come every week on time and you pay me $50, just minimum full service haircut without no extra tip, that's a better tip than somebody. That's better for me than somebody that's coming every 3 weeks, even if they got 200 or they want to come. You know what I mean? It's just like, okay, bro. But
it's like recurring revenue.
Right, exactly.
I could depend on that 50 this week, and every other week.
I get some cosplayers that be like, bro, I got 300 for you right now. I'm like, Yeah, I mean, I hit my numbers today. And, you know, you want to come at 2 o'clock. Well, Clyde comes at 2 o'clock every Friday. He gives me $50. If I move Clyde and lose him as a client, potentially, that's $2,500 out of my pocket for this year.
Lifetime
and you
customer
giving me
value.
right, and you giving me $300-400. It's not really worth it.
Wow.
I'm gonna go somewhere else probably next. Or,
Yeah,
you know.
and you might get cut.
Awesome. So a few exciting things before the last question. Just want to promo XG Groom Room podcast coming out. Working on that, you know what I'm saying, helping y'all fellas out. Obviously, selfishly, I want to hear some of those conversations in the barbershop. I'm sure everyone wants to hear it as well. So definitely gonna keep you posted when the podcast launches. Very excited about that. So the topics, what would the topics include? Like in the barbershop, like what are the top 5 topics that you're gonna be talking about on your podcast?
I got a question I'm going to definitely want to ask just to shed some light on different barbershops in the city or wherever. Intro question: what's their worst experience in the barbershop? I just want to know, you know, and then I might follow up with what the best experience is. Hopefully they say XG, but you know.
Nah, no doubt. It's crazy. There's some bad stories in the barbershop.
Definitely.
And most of my clients that I get as I gain new clients is all people that just went somewhere and got messed up.
Right.
Most of the clients I get that I had never cut before, they come in and first thing they're telling me, man, right here, man, she took me back.
It's like a scar. It's like a trigger. Like when somebody like a new barber on like your beard, you get a little nervous. Like, all right, bro. Like I told you, keep my drink like way over here.
And that's another reason why the prices are what they are is because you sit in a chair and really don't have to say much after the first cut. We know what you want, I mean, if we doing rehab cuts, we gotta fix your haircut. Like, you know, that comes at a premium. Like,
hey fam, like
I done did too many rehab cuts.
That's
man.
funny.
Yeah.
Last question. Obviously, last time, where can they find you at on IG? Where you guys? What's your IG page?
I'm Extraordinary Gent.
Okay.
Mr. Marzullo.
And we have an XG Groom Room page.
Sweet. So in order the book with one of the barbers, how do they book?
On Booksy. Download Booksy.
Okay.
Go to XG Groom Room 1.
Right.
Booksy.com.
Sweet. So we got that out of the way. So last question, always ask this. The podcast name is Success Leaves Clues, right? So obviously as a barber, as someone getting into the game, so I'm going to give you guys both opportunity. Drew, you could go first. So there's like clues in our lives that we either discover or someone tells us, right? And that like leads to our success.
Right.
So if you were to like your younger self, someone listening, barber getting into the game, entrepreneur, like what would be one clue that you would share with them that kind of like helped you, propelled you in your career?
I would say always try to be the first person at the shop. Always try to be the most early. Wake up as early as you can to get there. Like even if you're just gonna be sitting around for a couple hours, like, but just try to be there early, man. That early morning air got something to tell you when everybody else is asleep. Like it's just something about it, man. I just feel like I got an edge on the day when I get up before everybody else.
The crazy part for me, and we rock early, right? We always got early 7:30, 8, 7. The crazy part for me is just like you be out the night before.
Man.
So I'm like, this dude like
I don't know how he does it.
Dracula vampire, like how?
Hey, before I even started cutting hair, really, I remember we used to go places and he would be getting up in the morning. I might have crashed at his house or something like that. And then we get up in the morning and he'd be like, bro, I'm about to leave. I'm going to the shop at 7 in the morning. I'm like, bro, I don't see how he does it.
And he don't be slipping. He be on it too. So I definitely want the coffee. Whatever coffee you drink, I need the recipe. Hey, so Tylor, for you, obviously getting into the game, obviously now part owner of a barbershop, like what is something that you've learned throughout your life, like a clue that you were gonna share with our guests that kind of led to your success?
Man, I'll say first of all, don't be scared to take a leap. Like that's with any business, not just a barbershop or anything, but like, you know, I feel like a lot of people are so stuck and they try to put their fears on you by telling you, you know, this ain't gonna work or whatever, you know. So I think, you know, don't be scared to take a leap. And then when you do, know your worth. You know what I mean? For like same thing with the barbers. A lot of people, you know, they would tell me, "How are you gonna make this much money cutting hair? You know, cuts are only $12." No, cuts are how much you make them and how much, you know, is the better your craft is, the more you can charge for your haircut. So I think once you perfect your craft, don't stay at that same price point. You know, higher your prices, make what you're worth, and you know you'll become a lot more successful in the end, and it'll be a lot more worth it.
Man, that's great advice. I think the one thing, like managing people's expectations. Like when you tell them, like, yo, we're a premium shop, we charge premium prices, and we every time we're gonna nail you. And that's just what it is. And some people are like, oh man, I can go down the street and get it cheaper. Okay.
Yeah. You probably belong down
But
there.
those are the same people that go to Applebee's and order a steak and complain about it. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, you don't need those people.
Now, so the biggest thing, right, business is like knowing that everyone's not your customer.
Right. How to say no.
Like when you figure out that everyone's not your customer, like you're stop trying to like be on the fence. Like, well, we could possibly, maybe.
Yeah.
But, nah, someone.
Drake said, "Don't bend your morals for ticket sales."
Wow.
So that means, like, you know, the price is the price, and if it's not that we too expensive, it's that you can't afford it, which is, you know, and it's might not be able to afford it today.
Right.
You know.
Yeah, anybody who argues me down about my price, I automatically don't even want to cut them anymore. Like, if you're already asking me why I charge them, or, you know, why is it so expensive, it's like, you probably should just
It'd
go
be
down
funny
the street.
too, because they try to call your bluff, like you shooting dice or something, trying to ask you your price in the middle in front of everybody. Like, you know, it's a busy shop. I got somebody waiting, and you already booked it, and you've been here a couple times, and you already know what it is. You get out the chair like, how much I owe you again? I just give them that look, like.
It's funny. I've heard you I heard you increase the prices on some of them.
Yeah, I'm going to.
On some of that Barber. So then somebody else get in the chair, they're like, I'm getting a deal. Like,
Yeah, all right. But like every time, like that's why I said it's situational though. Like some people, okay, I've perfected my craft to where I can cut you in. If you just got cut last week, I can cut you 15, 20 minutes.
Wow.
So if somebody's late, I'm gonna capitalize. If somebody want to squeeze in, like, yo, Drew, I gotta be somewhere. I need to cut real quick. Just line me up. Just, you know what I mean? Whatever.
Right.
Okay. Well, Terry's supposed to be here at 10 o'clock. It's 10:15. He just now pulling up. I'm gonna knock you out real quick. You know what I'm saying? Boom, boom, boom. He get up. How much I owe you? 60.
Right.
You know what I mean? Convenient. You cut. You got what you wanted. You out the chair. You know what I mean? Now, Terry heard that I charged him 60, or whoever. Everybody like, dang, why you charging that? But it is what it is.
I get it. Hey, now, I appreciate y'all boys. Obviously, looking forward to 2021. You know what I'm saying?
Definitely.
I think big things, you know what I'm saying, in the plan. Obviously, as we open back up, obviously, some big events coming downtown Indianapolis. You guys are going to capitalize on some of that stuff, right? And just, man, keep doing it, man. I'm proud to see the progress, you know what I'm saying, for work, how you brought the building to what it is now. Definitely a spot. And if you haven't checked it out yet, definitely go check out my fellas XG Groom Room. And thanks for following up and listening to this podcast. So definitely subscribe, share this link, and let your friends know they're looking for a barbershop. They're looking for someone to kind of change it up, get a master barber. XG Groom Room is where they gotta go. All right, so I'll see y'all on the next episode of Success Leaves Clues.